Hello everyone and welcome to the monthly vlog. I didn't do any filming during the week of our birthday celebrations, which I'd been telling you about because it was just too busy to do anything. Plus I ended up having one of these weeks where if it could go wrong, it did go wrong, and it was just, oh, I'm so glad that week is over. But we're on a brand new week. I'm going to take you along, and today Mum and I, it's my day off, Mum and I are having a girls' day and we're going over to Stradbroke Island, and hopefully we're going to go and see some whales, and I'm going to take you guys with us, so let's go. our shipping labels on. They are ready to go down to the post office this afternoon. I have got lots of things I need to do this week. But first of all, I actually need to start getting a little bit more organized in here because last week, with it being the birthday celebrations, the crazy celebrations and all that sort of stuff, there wasn't much time for me to be making stuff, and I have actually sold out of a number of things on the shelf. I've got them all written up on the board of what I need to do, but before I can do that, I do have a little bit of mess that I need to clean up and get myself organized, so we've got places to put what we're actually going to be making on Thursday and Friday. So first thing I need to clean up is this mess. So we've just finished with the shipping stuff, so I really should learn to put stuff away as soon as I have finished with them. So we'll put our little label gun away. So what we do need to do, I've got a whole heap of soap on this rack which is all ready for wrapping up, apart from this yellow one which is my Sunshine soap. That's still got another 2 weeks. We've got 4 Halloween soaps on here. I'm going to be packaging them differently to how I'll be packaging the others, just to give them a little bit more of a Halloween vibe than what they have. And then I've got some others which I actually need to do photographs of so I can finish packaging them up. And I also have a whole heap of Pimp My Soap dough sitting here which needs to be wrapped up and put away before the air gets to them and makes them too hard. And I also have this bit of mess on this counter that needs cleaning up. When we came back from Stradbroke the other day, hubby came and picked me up and I asked him to just stop by the shop because I was trying to work out what size bag I was going to be needing for the advent calendar that I'm working on. I have had a look at getting like a door advent calendar, but the quotes that were coming back to me were just, they were at least 4 times higher than what I had paid for the previous calendars that I had, which I do know actually weren't of the best quality now. So I was trying to get my own done, and I just saw the price of them wasn't, I was never going to make the money back on them with the price they were. So I decided to take a whole completely different angle, and I am getting boxes done up. Now these are my shampoo conditioner boxes, but they're going to be the same size as this box. My mum came up with a brilliant idea of, I was going to get the boxes and I was trying to work out how to then give them to people so they could pick out what they needed. And she said to do a Santa sack. Now the one place where I was getting the bags from were having a sale. Didn't know what size to get, so I got hubby to drop me off at the shop so I could just throw in 12 boxes into one of my cotton bags I already have to see if that was the right size. It turned out to be the right one, so I could go home and actually order those bags. And my advent boxes are on the way, and I am so super happy with them. I have designed all 12 of them, and they are Australian themed, so I can't wait to share those with you. So I will also be starting on making some of the products to be going in on the advent calendar this week, hopefully. Before I can make anything, I do also need to get this bench cleared up. One thing I do want to make this week is some soap, and the oil that's been in this tank has been, I put it in there end of last week, so I know it's going to be a little bit cold, not well mixed, so I am actually going to put that on and warm the oils up, and then they'll be able to cool down overnight, and I'll be able to make soap later this week. We have some more soap dough to go and put away, and I've got a candle refill order at the end there which I need to label up and put into the bag because I'm sure she'll be in either this afternoon or tomorrow to pick it up. And then I need to decide what I'm going to do with this. I've been doing a little bit of testing with lip balm. So in here is my regular lip balm recipe, which I know is really good, works well, and I've been testing some natural flavor oils in them, and I am not happy with these natural flavor oils. You all know my dilemmas when it comes, or most of you know my dilemma when it comes to lip balm flavors. I just say that Australian suppliers cannot do lip balm flavoring at all. It just, I don't know what it is, it just doesn't stay on the lips for very long. You don't get that sensation of smell. I've been trying all different things to get it to work, and the only thing that happens is when you put the cap on these, 24 hours later you can smell it when you're applying it onto the lips, but the taste doesn't linger, or the smell doesn't linger. And 48 hours later, that's when you can actually begin to taste it a little bit more, or smell it for a little bit longer, because taste is actually generally smell, not what we're actually tasting on our tongue or our lips. And to me, it's just, I don't know, the smell doesn't linger as long as my other one, so I'm really not very happy with these flavour oils. But the reason I'm testing them is because in this jar, which I am happy with, this is a new vegan lip balm. Now, the reason it's in a jar and not in tubes, I did only pour out one tube so as not to waste too many if the formula wasn't right. But after a few tweaks, I have now finally got this formula right, so I'll be bringing out a vegan lip balm in the next couple of months, and I want the vegan lip balms to be all natural flavouring because I have people asking me for natural flavours, and I don't want to add the natural flavours into my current range because I already have 30 flavours there. But I figured if I'm going to bring out a vegan range, vegans would probably appreciate having natural flavours in their lip balm as well, so that will become my natural flavouring. So I am really happy with the recipe that I've come up with for this. I'm just not happy with the flavour oils at the moment, so we have to keep working on those. So today I actually do have a new heirloom order arriving, which has a different sweetener in it, and I'm hoping that this sweetener will actually help to make, well, it will put the sweetness on the tongue, because what happens when we taste things, or like through lip balms and stuff, your tongue has I believe it's 5 different taste sensations. So you've got sweet, sour, salty, those sort of things. And when you say you are eating a chocolate, you're actually not tasting chocolate on your tongue. Your tongue picks up the sweetness of chocolate, whereas your nose picks up the scent of chocolate, and that's what gives you that sensation of taste while you're eating it. It's that smell in your nose. So I'm hoping that with this new sweetener, because I think that's what's missing out of it, the Australian flavour oils just don't put that sweetness onto the lips, onto the tongue, even though I've got sweetener in. I'm hoping that this new sweetener is going to bring to life that sweetness so that you capture that smell for a little bit longer. It's so complicated how it works, but hopefully this will work. So I will be playing a little bit more with the lip balm recipe, and I have a couple of other recipes I am wanting to play with this week once we've got all of the jobs done on the board, and they are based off of Patreon recipes that I'm putting out there, as well as products that I want to bring out into the range. This month I released a no press shampoo bar over on Patreon, like the $5 level. It's available this month, August, September, October, and then the $10 level for those 3 months, plus November, December and January. And this no press shampoo bar gives you a really smooth shampoo bar. It's not rustic looking, it's solid, it holds together, it lasts for a long time as well. But while I was while I was developing this formula over the last however many months, I had a lot that failed, but one of my failures actually resulted in another product which I am also testing and experimenting with, which could actually become a really nice, you can either use it as a cream shampoo, which I was doing because I didn't want to throw it out. There was nothing wrong with it other than it wasn't hard, it was just really soft. So I've been using it as a cream shampoo and absolutely love it. And then I decided to throw some salt in it and make a scalp exfoliating thing as well, and I've been using that and absolutely love that too. But I just want to have a little bit more of a play with a couple of other things in it just to make sure it really does hold together, and that will be next month's formula. And I've also been working on a hair mask as well, so I want to have another bit of a play with that. I want to tweak it just a little bit, so we'll be doing that. I think I have yacked on enough. I'm going to get on to cleaning up, and then we will see where the rest of the day actually does take us. Oh, and I need to go and do something for one of my patrons. We need to test the pH of the body wash because she's getting completely different results to me. So I'm going to go and do that before I do anything else, before I forget again. yeah, so I got about half an hour until we close up. So I'm just sitting here and I'm doing up some labels on my little soap boxes here. Next soap I need to do up is this olive oil soap. It is finally ready for packaging up. When I got my little holster boxes done up, I had 3 different ones. I had a decorative soap bar one done up, so that's for all the ones I do the soap dough, the piping and things like that. Then I had a limited edition, which is just a plain soap, no piping or anything like that, but uses my regular recipe. And then I did this one, which is the limited edition with a little bit of extra. And this one, I actually didn't have the ingredients printed on the back, and it meant that when I did something like an olive oil soap, or maybe I put poppy seeds in or something like that, what I could then do is print up an ingredients list to stick onto the back of these boxes. And what I did, thought I was being really clever, but now it's actually proving to be quite hard when you've got, you know, about 40 soaps to do. You can see on the bottom of that label the little bubble border, and it coincides with the bubble border on the box, so it kind of all flows. It doesn't just look like a sticker, it kind of looks like that bubble border is still on the sticker as well. It does make it look better, so even though it's a bit tedious to start sticking these on, it does actually make it look a lot better. What I do hope to be able to find one day is either some clear labels to go onto the thermal printer, because my label printer doesn't do clear labels, or maybe even if I upgrade to a proper laser printer again, I'll get some clear labels so it'll actually look a lot more, you'll be able to see the under pattern through that clear label, so it'll be a bit quicker to apply these on. But for now this will do, it's looking good. So I'm going to finish getting these on. I did get everything else I wanted to get done today done, so that included, I've took photos of all the soaps that needed doing so I can edit those tonight and actually get them online and finish wrapping them up. I also wrapped up all the soap dough, got all that put away. I've cleaned up in the kitchen out the back. I've got all of in here clean as well, so tomorrow when I come back in I can start working on that great big list of stuff that needs doing up there. And I'm pretty sure the first things I'll be doing are the shaving soap, because I'm completely out of the one of them, and with Father's Day just around the corner I can't be out of shaving soap, that's for sure. So we'll be making some of that, and also the room and pillow mist, and then I'll see what else we can actually realistically get done for the day, and we will go from there. So yeah, I've got about 25 minutes until I close the door and head round to the post office. I got a few extra orders in, so they're all in my little trolley ready to go, and then we'll be back in tomorrow. things left on the board which I need to make this week. We've got some face scrub, face cream, some Biotease balm, and some cashmere moisturiser. Now I can only make one moisturiser a day. I could technically make 2 or 3, but I prefer just to make one so that it is all cooled enough for me to get the preservatives and things in it without delaying me from getting home. So I have to decide whether to make my moisturiser or my face cream, and I've got 2 of each left on the shelf. Now my face products at the moment are selling super fast. I honestly can't keep on top of how quickly they are selling, so I've decided that today I'm going to make my face cream, and I'm actually going to make a double batch of it because I'm making face cream every 2 weeks at the moment. So I figured if I make a double batch, it saves me on electricity. I was talking to hubby about that this morning because the electricity rates have gone up, and since they told me they were going up, I've made this real conscious effort to keep lights off where I'm not using them, to make double batches of things as well, just to try and keep my electricity use down. And it worked. My electricity bill was half the price this time, so that was really nice to see. So I've decided rather than making my face cream every 2 weeks, I'll just make a bigger batch that will last me for the month. And coming up close to Christmas, I know that it's going to keep selling through fast. If we were in really quiet season, I wouldn't double that batch, I'd just keep it to what it is. So I'm going to go and get a double batch of my face cream on, and then I think I can't actually make my Biotease balm because I want to make some minis, and I've got 2 different size lip balm tubes, and I need to keep using up these smaller ones. They're only like 1 gram difference, so I'm going to use these smaller ones for my Biotease balm, and then it also gives me a point of difference so I know whether someone's picked up a lip balm or a Biotease balm. So I'm going to have to make those tomorrow when I bring down the containers. So what we might also do today is make the face scrub. I'm just waiting on the stearic acid to finish melting in the shaving soap that I got on this morning, and I made that pillow mist. So we're doing well so far. It is 11 o'clock, so I've got a fair amount done already. So I'm going to go and get all this face cream ready, and then we'll get on to making the face scrub. So you can see the face cream is almost ready to combine. We've got all the oils and waxes all melted down, so I'll be combining that in just a moment. The shaving soap is looking really good. So the only other thing I really want to do today is to make the face scrub, but I decided to do that after my lunch. While I was waiting for lunch, I decided to finish wrapping up these soaps. These are the calendula and oat olive oil soap. I wanted to get these done because by the time that this vlog goes to air, Susan, these are going to be on the website. I know you've been patiently waiting for them. They do take 6 months to actually cure. I will make another batch of these next month, so hopefully they'll stay in production and you won't have to wait 6 months to be able to buy the soap. But these are now on the website as this vlog shows, so I'm getting all those wrapped up. And then I've just popped next door and ordered my lunch. When I opened up Instagram this morning to check my messages and stuff, this was the first feed that came up on my post. This is from Sunshine Street Foods next door, and they are mackerel fish balls, and the mackerel is from Stradbroke Island, which was where we were at the start of this week. So very fresh and local. They look really yummy. Now, she was really good to me. She knows I don't like really hot chili, and it came with a chili dipping sauce, and it is hot. So I asked if I could have some mayonnaise to put with my chili sauce so it wasn't too hot. So I'm going to tuck into these, and then once I've had those, I am going to go mix the face cream together, and then we should be ready to do the shaving soap, and then we can make some face scrub this afternoon. Okay, so I am now home in the office. Hubby is on what they call a mid shift. So he started about 12 o'clock today. He should be finished by 8, so we'll be home about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Occasionally he does come home earlier because they don't always get their half-hour breaks, and when that happens he comes home early, which good on him. So I'll see him somewhere between 8 and 9 o'clock tonight. So because he's on that late, I'm just going to take advantage and do a couple of things here on the computer. I've only got one more of my Pamper Pack things left in the shop. So tonight I need to make some more of the engraved pens that I include in the pack, and I also need to cut some of the HTV vinyl, the heat transfer vinyl, to make up some of the little canvas bags that I put the packs in. So I'm going to do that tonight while he's at work. And I also got in the bags that I'll be putting my advent calendar in. So I want to cut out the design that I created for these and make sure that it all comes up and looks really good on these before I do the whole lot. So I'm going to do that tonight before I go and make myself some dinner. We did have such a productive day in the shop today. I didn't do a lot of filming because I kind of felt that it was a little bit monotonous compared to some of the, when you look at all of my vlogs. But we got so much done. So the shaving soap has been all potted up, cooling down, ready to put the lids and labels on tomorrow. The face cream, it will be ready to be potted up tomorrow as well. I did my face scrub. I did both of them because I now have 2 face scrubs in the range. I did both of those. They just need their little security seals put onto the bottom of them tomorrow, and then I can put them away ready to go out on the shelf as the last couple sell out. I got all of those soaps finished, wrapped up, put away, and then I have got photos on the camera. So tonight, while I am waiting for the machine to do its thing, I will get the photos edited and up onto the website, so the soap is ready. And there is also something else I want to do on the Pimp My Soap website. So while the machine is kind of doing its thing, I'm going to be updating some of that too, and hopefully I'll have all that done by about 6:30, 7 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock now, so rather than keep talking, I'm going to go and get this work done, and then we'll be back in the shop tomorrow. We're going to make the Bidey's balms. I have to go and get the correct lip balm tubes from out of the shed to put in the car, and we will also make some moisturizer tomorrow as well. So I'm going to get on to doing this so I can then go and relax when hubby gets home. So I'll see you tomorrow in the shop. a drink. Good morning. It has been such a great morning today so far. I woke up about 15 minutes before my alarm. I actually have a number of alarms set to go off in the morning. I have it on my Fitbit. I have it set, and at this time of year it's about 6:15 that I've got it set, so just after the sun is coming up. In summer I get up much earlier, but I've got it set for 6:15 in the morning. But I actually woke up at 6 o'clock because the lorikeets out the front of the house were just going absolutely off today. They were loving all the spring flowers that are coming out. So I decided I'd get up and take Miss Lucy for a walk, and we went for a slightly longer one than normal, but it was really weird. As I started to walk down the street, I wondered what was on the road. It looked almost like someone had like a little mini blowout of their tyre, and then I realised that there was actually a lot of ash on the road, but I couldn't smell any smoke or any fire or anything like that. And as we started walking further down the road, I was spotting more and more and more ash, and we went on about a 3.5 kilometre walk this morning, and there was ash the whole way round, more concentrated in our street than it was down at the park, but like all the cars that were parked out in the street had ash on them. And when I came back, I had a quick look at my husband's car, which is actually under a Garreport, and he didn't have a lot of ash on it, but I did still say you might want to actually wash it off because there were lots of little pieces. But no idea where it's come from, because like I said, there's no smell of smoke. It wasn't even windy enough to have brought it in from anywhere else, not the amount of ash. So hubby's going to keep an eye out on what I call the Sookie page. It's one of the community Facebook groups for the suburb that we're in, but they do a lot of whinging and whining on there. But usually we can find out what's going on, so he's going to be watching that to see if we can find out where all this soot's actually come from. But I couldn't smell anything. None of the bushland around by us was on fire, so who really knows? But I'll keep you updated if I find anything. When because I actually woke up before my alarms went off, so I have two on my Fitbit, one at 6:15 and one at 6:25, and then I actually have one on my phone which is set to go off at 6:45 at the moment. It will be much earlier than that once we get into summer and it's too hot to walk Lucy at that time of day. I went to turn that alarm off on my phone and spotted an email come in from off of Shopify, and in their latest sort of newsletter edition they announced that they were bringing in a subscription program, so people can, subscribe to something and automatic payments will be taken out and I can ship it out when it's actually needed. And this is something I've been wanting to do for so long. I have trialed subscriptions in the past, but I do rely on people actually renewing their subscriptions themselves. And I have got my Pamper Club yearly subscription, but again, I'm relying on people to actually renew that themselves every year, whereas they've actually announced that they were going to be doing a subscription program and to register your interest if you wanted early access to it. So I registered my interest and I got a message the other day saying it's been super popular, lots of people were requesting it, so they were getting people to fill out a survey, and I thought, yeah, I'm not going to get it on my store, I never get these early access things. But I woke up this morning after filling out this survey the other day, and both of my shops, both Pimp My Soap and Soy and Shea, have been given early access to subscriptions. So I am super happy about that. So I had a quick look at it this morning and about how it's all going to work. So the first thing I'll do is actually change the Pamper Club over, so you can either just purchase it as a one-off or have it as a yearly subscription. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to also be able to introduce some others that I've been wanting to do for a while. Things like a candle subscription. So maybe, you know, once a month we send out a mystery candle pack, which will have a set number of candles in it, maybe fragrances from out of the range, maybe some limited edition only available in this pack. We'll see what happens. Also, I want to do the mystery soap. I do a mystery soap box, and I'm thinking I would like to be able to put that as a monthly subscription. So every month you get sent through, or 2 months, or however it's all going to work, get that sent through. So you get, you know, 4 or 5 soaps every month. So if you're a family that can get through that many in a month, we'll send it out monthly. Otherwise, I'm hoping I'll be able to do it bi-monthly as well. So I'll have a better look at it over the weekend and see. But that was really, really exciting. Looking forward to putting that onto the website. And so if you watch on social media, I'll actually announce when that is all available. So right now I'm putting the lids on the shaving soap, just giving them a bit of a clean up, because I'm never very, not hugely messy, but it's got little bits of soap on there from when I've had it on my gloves and then picked up a new fresh container. Give them a wipe off. We'll get the labels on. I need to put my little seal tags on these so people can't open them up when they're sitting on the shelf. We're going to put up our face cream today. I have also brought down all of the pens that I etched for the Pamper Club, so we've got some of those, and I made up some new little bags to put the Pamper Club kits into, or the mini Pamper packs, so that's all in there. And I remembered to bring down the lip balm tubes, so we'll be making our little mini bites. And then I think this afternoon I'm going to sit down and I'm going to start planning out a bit more of my Christmas and Halloween stuff, because I need to actually get some Christmas fragrances in, see what I got in the back, and get a couple of extra new ones in. So that is the plan for today. I am feeling really positive about it. There is also something I'll have a little bit more of a chat to you about later on. It's something I was chatting to a friend about, and I thought I might bring it up here. So, but for now I'm just going to go get all this lot put away, and then we'll have a chat about that later. sit down. It's been a busy day. I haven't done a lot of filming again because it's a very repetitive. I did end up putting on the moisturizer. I did kind of struggle with whether to make moisturizer or not because, as I said earlier, I want to make big enough batches so I'm not wasting electricity, but I only actually needed a very small batch of this moisturizer to go on the shelf because all the others are fully stocked apart from this one which sells really quickly. So I did struggle with it, but I have made it. It is cooling down so we can pot it up tomorrow. There's only going to be 6 pots of it because I do like to keep my moisturizer really fresh. And I did also make my By Ease Balm that is sitting there cooling. I then also started planning my Halloween stuff, what I'm actually going to be making, what fragrances, what lip balms and stuff like that. I'm hoping on Monday to actually go out to Aroma and go and have a look at some of their fragrances. I thought I had more out in my back storage cupboard and I actually don't. So I need to go and have a look at what fragrances I can use from there to do. I've already got my soaps done, but I want to work on the candles and the Bath and Body stuff. So I might have a look at that tonight. And I have also just done my ASICS report and I'm going to do a live chat with my patrons because I've noticed, particularly it was actually asked in another group that I'm in, and there is a lot of confusion over it. I think people are actually making it a bigger deal than what it really is. So I'm actually going to go live with my patrons tonight, particularly for the Aussies, and walk them through how to actually fill in the ASICS report because it really is not that difficult. It is really simple and all the stuff is there to tell you how to do it as well. So I'm going to do that with them tonight. Talking about Facebook groups there, I'm not actually in very many Facebook groups. I can count on one hand how many Facebook groups I'm in, and I'm only actually in one soap making group, and that is just to support a friend. And I was actually talking to that friend this week because it keeps coming up. A lot of particularly new soap makers who are actually really struggling at the moment getting the sales coming in. I mean, you have to keep in mind, if you're already starting up a business right now, you are starting up at the bottom of a recession, which is a really hard time to start your business. But I'm telling you, if you can get through the recession and keep your business growing through a recession as we come up into the next peak of the economic cycle, you're going to do amazing. You just have to hang on in there. A lot of people are saying that they're not getting sales. They've tried this, they've tried that, they're going to do this and they're going to do that and they're going to change this. And yes, when you're running a business, you do actually kind of need to think about, okay, well, this isn't working. What do I need to do to get my customers to come in? Someone's watching me through the door there. So you kind of need to keep all this sort of stuff in mind. But one thing you really need to keep in mind when you are only just starting out your business, you know, anyone that is in their first, second, third, fourth, and even 5th year of business, is that it is a proven sort of fact, I would say. It's a lot of studies have been done into it, that a majority of new businesses will not start to see a return on their business until about year 5. And most businesses will fail in the first 5 years. And a lot of that comes down to sort of mentality. When you're not seeing the money come in, you kind of just give up and close it down. But you need to keep going until you get to that year 5, and then all of a sudden, boom, that's when a business actually comes out of its sort of infancy and starts to really grow. And I know it is really tough. I'm now in my 11th year, so I've been through those first 5 years of my business. Now I'm saying that there are some businesses that happen to hit the ground running. They just happen to start their business at the exact right time in the exact right place and get noticed by the right person. If anyone's ever seen Danielle from Star-Crossed Soapery, she admits that when she started her business, she happened to get noticed on a TikTok video by the right people, and bam, her business blew up. So she did hit the ground running. And a lot of people think because they see people like that they aspire to, that if they start a business, this is going to be how it runs. What a lot of business people don't show is that here they are swimming along the top of the water, everything looks really good, and underneath that water they are paddling like mad to stay afloat and to make it all work. And this is especially so in those first 5 years, the ups and downs that you will go through trying to get customers, trying to make money, trying to make your business grow. And it can be very, very off-putting. It can make a lot of people just shut their businesses down when they're not seeing that come in. But don't ever give up on those first 5 years. You have to remember that not everything in life is handed to you on a silver platter. You have to work for it. For me personally, the first 4.5 years of my business, I relied on hubby a lot. He paid all the household bills. He did all of the shopping. He basically paid for everything household wise. The only thing I was really paying for was the petrol in my car and my insurance on my car, and then all of my business stuff. But everything to do with our living and house, hubby was paying for, and I am extremely grateful to him for that. And I remember the first day that we went out shopping, and I felt comfortable enough to actually pay for the shopping for the first time in 4.5 years. And I was so over the moon with it. It sounds absolutely ridiculous, but it was that real independence of coming back and saying, I can actually afford to now start putting back into the household. But it wasn't until that 4.5 mark, and even then it took about another 18 months, where some months I could do it and some months I couldn't. Nowadays, if we go shopping, I know that I can always pay for the grocery food. If we need to, we can put money into the bills and everything else, and that we're both fine. But it has taken up to 11 years for me to get to that point where I actually feel comfortable enough to be able to take a wage out of what I earn, that I'm not putting everything back into my business. In those first 5 years, every penny that you make, you will probably have to put back into your business to get it to grow, to get better equipment, to get the advertising out there and everything else. But if you are in those early stages of your business, don't give up on it. Don't keep thinking that it's going to be a failure. You just have to keep plugging away and know that everyone is in that same position. And the other thing to keep in mind is that if you are really struggling and you're in your first couple of years of running business, you're not alone. Those of us who have been doing this for 10, 15, 20 plus years, we are all struggling too. I can tell you, with this being a recession that we are in at the moment, I am behind on my usual sales by about 30%. I've been speaking to a couple of people out in the markets that I've always done markets with. We don't go into exact figures because I do think that talking exact figures is a little bit crass, but we have all agreed that we are down about 30 to 40% in our sales compared to previous years, not including 2020, because 2020 here in Australia, I don't know about the rest of the world, but it was a very unusual year for the handmade industry. Generally, the handmade industry is really hard here in Australia. We don't get that same level of support that other countries do for handmade items. But in 2020, because all the stores that people were used to shopping in, you know, the Kmart's, the Targets, the Coles, the Woolworths, all of those, because they couldn't get in the basics like body wash and soap, and then the luxuries like candles, people were turning to the handmade market. And in 2020, we saw record sales. In fact, my tax return that year has been nothing like it since then. So whenever I am actually comparing my data figures, I always take 2020 out, because it was unprecedented what happened during that year for sales within the handmade industry. And I do think that has actually caused a lot of people to think, you know, people who did lose their jobs through that time, and they saw how well people were doing. And some people, I know there are some businesses out there who started in 2020 and they now have very successful businesses, but no, that didn't happen for everyone. And generally you find people who hit the ground running in, you know, really busy, they either burn out or people lose interest because it becomes like a fad that people lose interest in, and they move back to the more constant people. So I think what I'm trying to say is that when we've been seeing these comments of people saying that, you know, they're not making the sales and stuff, have a look at how long you actually have been in business for. If you've only been in business for less than 12 months, if you are getting a sale a week, you're actually doing really well. I remember my first market, I came home and I was so super happy with what I took, and it was less than $100, and I was absolutely blown away by the fact that people had bought stuff. And it wasn't until I got probably, well, for the first couple of years, I was happy to bring home up to $150 from a market. That for me was a fantastic day, like $150. Whoa, I made all this money. By the time I got into years 3 and 4, I was expecting to see about $300 per market. And then towards the end of my market days here, before I packed up, I knew that on a really bad day, you know, the days when there's lots of events happening or the weather's really bad, I knew on a bad day 500 would be about my average taking. On a average day, I should have been taking about 700 to 800, and on a really good day, I'd be taking over $1,000 at the market. And this is a farmer's market. At other markets, which are like monthly markets and targeted markets for a specific market, I knew I should always be taking over $1,000 at those markets. But if I'd actually, if someone had said to me, in my first year of business, in 10 years time, you're going to be taking $1,000 at a market, I would go, no way. Not possible. I was always happy to take those small amounts. But I think these days people see the more with, you know, with what we've got with social media and everything, people see how much other businesses are selling and promoting themselves, and they think that they're going to get those same amounts. But think about it, those people that you are actually watching have probably been around, like myself. This is my 11th year of doing this, and it took me 11 years to get to this stage. It took me 11 years to get to this point where I can take a little wage out of my stuff. And at the moment, this year, I've gone back to not being able to take a wage for anything extra than the weekly shop that we do, and then the rest of it is just going back into the business at the moment. Hopefully when we come back out of the recession, I will be able to take myself a little bit more of a wage so I can replace this rather grotty jumper. So if you are a new business and you are struggling at the moment, keep going, don't be deterred. Keep in mind we are in that sort of recession time at the moment throughout the world. Things will get better, and you just have to sometimes be a little bit more realistic about things. I can be in the shop some days and I don't see a single person come in. So that means no sales, no online orders or anything else. That is a day where I don't make any sales. There are some weeks where I get 12 orders online. There's other weeks I get none. You know, it's not going to be a constant selling thing. You're not always going to have consistency of sales until you get, I'm hoping by the time I get to 15 years it will be a lot more consistent, but you know, you have to be very realistic about how things are actually working. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if I actually really got my point across, but it is 4 o'clock and I am really tired. So I am going to go and bring everything in. I'm going to go home. I am going to talk to my patrons and help fill out their ASICs forms. And then I think actually no, I need to find some molds at home because they're not here in the shop and I couldn't find them at home. So I need to really find these molds that I'm looking for. Then I'm going to sit down and watch a bit of telly. So I will be back in for the weekend. And we'll see about making a soap tomorrow, I think. So it's Saturday morning, and as you can see, the day is looking a bit dull, grey and miserable out there. I don't know how many people will come through, because normally when it is weather like this, people go and hide in the big shopping centres so that they don't get wet and that sort of stuff. So we'll see what actually happens, but being quiet's not a bad thing, because it does mean that I can get all of the jobs done that I can't usually do when I've got people coming in. So like doing the things out in the back room and stuff like that. First job I got done this morning when I was closing up last night, I realised that my front windows were really dirty, and a bug had flown into the window, and I don't think he survived the impact. So I decided first thing I was going to have to do this morning was actually get those windows cleaned. It's one of those jobs that people don't realise businesses have to do. Landlords are generally responsible for the cleaning, like for the general building cleaning, so like the gutters and doing the painting and that sort of thing. But then when it comes to a shop window, it's generally the shop that's actually responsible for that. And I don't know about you, but I'm a bit reluctant to go into a shop that looks dirty on the outside, especially if they're dealing with food or hygiene products. The outside appearance of a building can often reflect what's going on inside. So I decided we got to clean that front up and make it look a little bit more presentable. So that was all done. It only took me about 15 minutes to do it, so it really doesn't take long. And I try and do it probably every second month, except for at this time of year when we've got the westerly winds, and it actually needs doing monthly, because, or an extra month in there, because it kicks up so much dust. So that's all done. At the moment I am labelling up the Bides balms that I made, and then I'm going to pot up the moisturiser. Last night I actually sat down to watch some Netflix because I was feeling really tired, but I was just so tired that I actually didn't want to watch anything. You know when you can't decide what you want to watch and you start watching something, it's like, oh no, I don't really want to watch it. So I gave up, turned the telly off, and I actually went downstairs and decided to have a play with the subscriptions app that was put onto my store. And I have actually got some up there now. So the Pamper Club is now actually down as a yearly subscription, so you don't have to worry about renewing it if you're online each time. It just automatically renews for you. But you can also, if you join and you decide you only want to stay for 1 year, you can always cancel. But with that one, I have set that one up so there is no other option but a subscription. And then I had a play with a couple of the other products that I've got online, which I've been wanting to do as a subscription pack. One of them was my mystery soap box, where you get 5 soaps. So I've set it up. You can still get the mystery soap box at full price, but if you decide to get a soap box once every month, it's got a 10% discount on it. And if you decide to get a mystery soap box delivered to you every second month, there is a 5% discount. And I also set up my melt pack one as well. So again, you can pay full price and just buy it as a one-off, or if you get one delivered every month, I've actually got it at a 15% discount, and if you do it once every 2 months, it's got a 10% discount on it. So I've got those set up. The only thing I have got with the subscriptions at the moment is that it does add shipping on. So a lot of the times when people do subscription plans, it includes free shipping, and the only way at the moment to get free shipping on it is to make sure that people put discount codes in. And if people miss the discount code, I don't know how easy it is to fix it, whether you have to do refunds, or whether I can change it once people have ordered. We'll see how it all goes, but for now I do have 3 subscriptions on the website, and then this weekend I'm going to take home a few extra things and put some extra subscriptions on there. So I want to do one with my candles, like the different sizes, and you can again have them monthly or however often you want. I want to do one with my shower fizzers as well, and then I'm thinking about doing a mystery sort of style pack, which would include a soap and a shower fizzer, or a body wash and a shower fizzer, and maybe a moisturizer. So it could be a hand cream, a body cream, a face cream, so some sort of moisturizer, because even at monthly, most people don't buy moisturizers monthly from me because they're quite big containers. They don't need them every month. So if it's those that want to join up monthly, will get something different. It will be a moisturizer of such, but will be different. I don't know, I've got to take it home, got to have a play with it and see what I decide to come up with. But it's really exciting to see this on there, and hopefully those of us who have been given early access, we can give some feedback. One of mine will be that I want an option to actually automatically be able to say yes, it includes free shipping, or no, it doesn't. So hopefully we'll get a few improvements on there and see how that goes. But very exciting, there are now subscriptions on the website. Alright, so I've just finished labelling up my Buy These balm. We will make these pumpkin soaps a bit later. I also want to make this slab soap for my advent calendar. I'm hoping to get that out by the 1st of October, so I really need to get on to making the soaps at least next week when I get the rest of the fragrance oils. So that is sort of the plans for today, but the first thing I'm going to go and do is pot up this moisturiser, get that out on the shelf, and then we'll see what I feel like doing next, because everything's done on that board. So on Saturdays I shut at 3 o'clock, so you can see I have brought everything into the shop. I have closed the door. I've also got my laundry I'm going to take home today, so all my sort of stuff is sitting here, but I'm not going to go home straight away because there's the market on down the road tonight, and I'm going to go down and have a look again this week to see what is new down there. It's been a really productive afternoon. I've had a lot of people coming in, mainly doing a little bit of looking. I think people are getting ready for Christmas and that sort of thing, but I have also been busy in between, so I'm feeling really accomplished. I have got 2 of the 4 soaps done that will be going into the advent calendar. So here's a sneak peek. I'm not going to tell what else is going in there, but I have got a goji berry and orange exfoliating soap bar which has some poppy seeds in, and this is actually one of the soaps that I do want to bring out in my permanent range, so anyone getting the advent calendar is going to get a first try of this one. And then of course I needed a Christmas one, and I wasn't sure what I'd actually got myself into, because I first of all did this small one, and I had a fragrance oil which I actually did in my candles last year and everyone loved. I called it Christmas Tree, so that's what I decided to do. And this one, it was a bit like dragon's blood. The minute I stopped stirring it, it set up in the pot, but I did manage to get it in here, so I was well and truly prepared for when I did the bigger one, and I was able to actually get this poured while it was still fluid. So tomorrow I'll be cutting these, but they are the first sort of things which I'm making for the advent calendar. So the other thing I said I was going to do, but actually didn't get around to doing, was to show you how I'm going to work out how much soap I need for these. So while the shop is shut and I'm waiting for the market to start, I'm going to show you how I'm going to calculate how much soap I'm going to need for these. But I actually don't think I'm going to be able to make until next week, because I double checked the fragrance oil I've got out the back to see if it was body safe, and it is, but only at 1% in soap. And I I don't know, I like my soaps to be highly scented. I know some people say that that is enough, but I want them to be highly scented, so I'm going to wait until I go to Aroma on Monday and see if I can find another nice pumpkin sort of inspired fragrance that we can make these in, or even something fun for the kids, because these are really going to be for the kids. So it doesn't have to be pumpkin scented, just something sweet and fruity. But I'll show you how I'm going to work out how much soap I need to fill these, and so that I can actually do the little knobs in a different color to the top. So let me do that. Okay, so this is how I do this typically. Let's get it all out of the way. We're going to start off with our scales and a tray, and the tray is really handy so you don't make too much of a mess. I'm going to tear it out so we're at 0, put my light on so I can actually see. Now I've actually just grabbed myself a pipette for this because I want to, when I do this, I want to do the tops of my pumpkin in like a green colour, but I don't want too much soap that I end up with wastage. So what I'm going to do, I like to do more than one mould so I get kind of an average. So I'm going to work with 5 here, pop them on my scale, tear it off again. I'm always tearing that scale. I've got in here just some standard tap water, and I'm going to use my pipette to do this. If I didn't want to separate my colours, I'd just pour my water straight in, but because I want to know how much soap I need to fill just this little hole in here, I'm filling it up with water. Now, for those that are not aware, water is one of the very few things that has a like for like volume to weight ratio. So that is 1 gram of water will equate to 1 mil of water. So my scales are telling me that we've got 5 grams that have been put into here. I've got 5 molds, so basically each of my little stems are holding 1 gram or 1 mil of water. Now I've got 10 of these molds, so I know to fill up my little things in here, I'm going to need 10 mil of soap. So it's really not very much. This is going to be pretty challenging to do, but we'll do it. Now what I'm going to do now is tear my scales off, and I'm going to finish filling up these 5 pumpkins with water. Now the reason I teared it out is because I actually have already measured that bottom bit, and I want to know how much orange I need. And I'm filling this right up to the very top, which is why I put it on the scales. So when I go to actually empty these or take them to the kitchen, I'm not going to spill water all over the floor. So filling them all up here. Hopefully we've got enough in our little pot all the way to the top. So if I turn the light off, you can see that we've got 470 grams of water in here. So for me, this is really simple to work out because I've got 10 molds. I filled up 5 of them, so filled up half of them. To work out how much I need in total, I'm just going to double my figure of 470 and get 940. But what do you do if you have got, say, 24 molds? So you've got a bit of an odd number. You grab your calculator, you would say the 470 or whatever you've got on your scale divided by 5, or the number that you filled up. In my case, I'm getting 94, and then if we multiply that by 24, I am getting 2.256 kilos. So that's, or 2.256 kilos, or I need 2 litres, 256 mil of soap to fill these molds up. Now this is why I say that this is possible using Soap Maker. So when you come into Soap Maker and you've got all of your recipes in here, I have my basic recipe just listed as it is, and then what I do is I come up to resize and I come down to total recipe volume. So we know that we want 940 mil to fill the top part of these pumpkins. I say yes, it does a quick calculate, and it's going to now tell me that to fill up all of 10 pumpkins, I'm going to need to make myself 647.82 grams. So I'd actually make myself 650 grams worth of soap, because I don't mind if I have a little bit extra. To fill in the top, I'm going to come back to my resize, and we're going to come back down to 10 to the volume, 10 mil. And I only actually need about 7 grams worth of soap to fill that in. Now in reality, making a 7 gram batch of oil for soap is pretty unrealistic. The smaller the batch of soap you make, the more precise you have to be with your measurements to make sure that you are making either a safe soap, so it's not lye heavy, or so that you aren't making a soap that's too soft because there's not enough lye. So the smaller you go, the harder it is to actually make a good soap. I'm not saying if you make a big soap you don't have to be as careful with your measurements, but those 0.2 and 0.5s don't usually matter as much when you're making a bigger batch as they do with a really small batch. So realistically, I am not going to do a 7-gram oil batch of soap. If the numbers had come out a lot bigger, say I needed 50 grams worth of oils to fill in a certain section of a mold, I probably would actually make myself 2 separate batches of oil, just to make sure that I'm not rushed and I'm not having to wait for soap to set and things like that. But because this one is so small, I said I needed 650 grams of oil to do the top part. I'm actually going to tag on that 7 grams onto my 650, and I'm going to actually make 660 grams of oil. And this is also to account for the waste that you get for the oil or the soap batter sticking to the spoon, the jug, and that sort of thing. So that will give me plenty. I'll mix it all up as one, and then I'll pour out just enough. I know I very, very rarely measure my soaps, but I will actually pour out just enough to do the tips of all of these little pumpkins before I actually pour the rest of it. So I'm not going to get a chance to do that tomorrow, but I will try and maybe do a little reel to pop up on here so people can see what I'm actually doing with them later on. It is absolutely glorious out there this afternoon compared to how this morning was. Really dull grey overcast. It is beautiful, sunny, and it's warm out there. So I'm going to go and have a wander down to the markets. They've got about half an hour till they're open, but being a market person, I know that they're usually fairly set up by now. So I'm going to go and have a wander down there, and then I'm going to head home. I think hubby's going to be home early today from his shift because he had to go in early for a work meeting, so he'll be home and we can have a bit of a chat and watch some telly before I go to bed, and then come back in and do it all again tomorrow. So I'm gonna go and enjoy my afternoon. Good morning, it's Sunday. I'm running a little bit late. I came into the shop early, and then I decided I've got some stuff sitting out the back that I really needed to find a home for, so I started doing that. And once I started, it's like I can't stop, otherwise it's just not going to get finished. So I've just finished putting all these bottles and stuff away that needed a home, but now I'm about 10-15 minutes late opening the door, but I don't think it's really going to matter right now at this time. I'm going to go and put my laundry away that I did last night, so we've got all nice cleaning cloths and everything. I don't think I'm going to be able to do much filming today because they've got a new busker out there. She's actually pretty good, but she's super loud and she's singing all pop music, so I'm not going to be able to do much filming because I'll get pulled up on YouTube with that sort of background noise. So I'm going to get stuck into my day. We've got soaps to cut over there. I've just printed off the recipe that I actually want to double check before I put out on Patreon. I know it's been working. It's in my shower. It's been in there for a number of months, and it's actually been sitting in a jar, and I've been watching what the heat in my shower actually does to it, and I've been using it as well, so dipping wet hands into it stuff, and it's working really well. But I just want to have a go at making the recipe one more time to make sure that it is working. I'm ready to go out for the next month, so I'm going to do that today, and we'll see what actually happens. But first of all, I need to go and put this lot in the back room and get the doors open. Okay, so it is the afternoon. I am home. I'm in the home office. I'm actually editing the video now. I've been really good this week, mainly because hubby's been on, afternoon shifts. So before he's come home, I have spent about half an hour to an hour editing the videos. So I didn't have a whole heap to do. And so I'm pretty much on top of it. I'm almost at the end. And I went to put the outro on there, and for some reason it is just not on the SD card. I know I pressed record because I did one outro, I didn't press record, and then I did it again, and no, I pressed record. So I don't know whether I've just accidentally deleted it or what happened. So here I am doing the outro in the office so I can finish the video and start getting it loading up overnight. It was such a great day. I've had quite a few people coming through the shop today, but all very small spends, but every little bit helps. A lot of people still looking for Christmas stuff today, so hopefully over the next coming few months it's going to get really busy. I did get a bit of a chance talking about Christmas to look on the Aroma website. I'm going to head over there tomorrow. I've picked out some fragrances I want to have a smell of to see if they actually fit the theme that I've got in mind for my Halloween and Christmas stuff this year. I am actually having a bit of a change up of fragrances. I know a lot of people have been asking me if certain fragrances are going to come back, and they will in some ways, and I've always got them there to do special orders, but I've had the same fragrances for both seasons for the last 2 years, so it needs to be changed up, otherwise people aren't going to buy them if it's just the same old. So I'm going to go and have a smell of a few new fragrances and see if we can incorporate those this year. So I'll do that tomorrow. I did get that Christmas tree soap cut, and boy was it a problem child. So as I said on the on that small slab that I did first, that it actually accelerated on me. You can tell because you can see the different swirl patterns between the small slab and the big slab. The big slab I knew I had to work really quick, and I got those really nice fine swirls through it, whereas in the smaller slab there are a lot more heavier defined swirls through it. Both of them, much to my delight, turned out really nice because I was worried that the smaller slab was going to be super muddied, but they both came out really good. But then as I was cutting it, for the first time since I've had that cutter, and I think I got it in 2019, so I've had it at least 3 years. For the first time I've had to replace the wires on it, because as I cut through that very first loaf, ping, well they didn't go ping, they just went thunk, dong, and I saw that the wires had snapped. And because of the way that the wires are actually threaded on that particular cutter, which I actually don't like, but it's a waste to rethread them all, they've used one guitar string that goes up, round and back down, so one string cuts 2 soaps, and I actually don't like that method of stringing up soap cutters, because I feel that you can never get a good tension on both strings. One is always looser than the other, so it gave me that opportunity to actually put 1 string per cut on the one that's broken. But given that they've lasted 3 years, and that's the first snap that I've had, and I don't even know why it snapped. There was nothing in the soap that I could see that did it, so it is what it is. But I got it rewired, finished cutting the soap, and it will get stamped up next week when I'm back in. It's had that chance to harden a bit. I find for my recipe that is the best time for me to stamp, so I'll do that next week. But really happy with how both soaps came out. I didn't show the second soap because I need to keep a little bit of mystery for this advent box, because they're meant to be full of surprises and that sort of thing. So, but I will reveal them later on. So that was all done. I've got the shop completely and utterly clean, so when I go in on Wednesday I am all set and ready to go. What else did we get up to? Not much. It was a lot of cleaning basically, and just restocking of a few little bits and pieces. Now, I did have a go at making this recipe that I want to put out on Patreon next month. This is the one that I've had sitting in my shower now for a few months just to see how well it holds. I have been using it as well. I just wanted to see how well it actually holds, make sure it doesn't split. I wanted to see what it was like while I was using it and things like that. It actually more came about because it was meant to actually be a solid shampoo, and I wasn't thinking when I formulated it, and I ended up with this mush. And I thought it's such a shame to actually throw it out because all the ingredients in there are perfect for shampoo. So I decided to throw it into this container, and I used it as a cream shampoo on my hair. And then I suddenly thought, I know what else I can do with this, which I'll reveal to my patrons. But I've then had it in my shower. I've actually got it as 2 separate products in my shower, been using both of them and absolutely love it. So it was one of those real happy mistakes. So, you know, formulating, it's so much fun because to me, I don't necessarily waste ingredients, but occasionally you stumble upon a brand new product. Now I did have a go at making it today in the shop, and I think I got a little bit impatient and didn't actually, or not all of my surfactants were melted down properly. So it's got some lumps and bumps in it. So I'm going to have another go next week, and when I'm not so rushed with listening to what's going on out the front of the shop and trying to do stuff out the back as well. So I'm going to have another go, but as you saw in the video, it bubbles up beautifully, and when you put it in your hair, it just goes whoosh. So it really is a very nice shampoo. I've been using it for ages, absolutely love it, and a little bit of it just goes such a long way. So I will have another go next week before I actually publish the recipe. I know it works, I just need to make sure that I've got all the correct heating times and stuff in there, so you get a nice smooth one like this. Talking of soaps in the shower, I did put up a short earlier this month. I was sent the most beautiful package after I did my last vlog, and I did the unboxing of some soaps from George. And I said on there that one of my sort of things was I found it very hard to find soaps, when people use essential oils, to actually find soaps that have their own distinct aroma when people are using essential oils. There's one shop in particular that I go into because I do actually like going in to have a look at all the bits and pieces. It's a gorgeous little shop, and she only uses essential oils in her soap, but every single one of the soaps actually smells the same. And my husband usually picks up ones that he thinks he's going to like a lemongrass and peppermint, and when he smells it, he says to me it doesn't smell anything like lemongrass or peppermint, but it smells the same as this soap, which might be lavender and rose geranium, and just basically all the soaps smell the same. And I think I've worked out kind of what it is. A lot of it does come down to the fact that essential oils are not cheap. They can be expensive, and what happens is most people have a very base level of essential oils, so maybe 4, 5, maybe up to 10 essential oils, and they just use the same oils in every single blend, and then everything just ends up smelling the same. And I know that George has quite an extensive range of oils, and you do get that sort of real distinct smell from each of his soaps. But anyhow, this parcel arrived to the shop, which I did do a short video on it as well. It's come from Muck Lather Soaps. I'll leave links to her business in the description box. She is from Australia, down in Victoria, and she has a range of soaps. She heard me say this. Her name's Rachel, and she heard me say how I felt about it, and she decided to send me some of her soaps to show that she too can work with essential oils. And not only can she work with essential oils, she can work with plant-based colorants. Some of the best that I have seen. I mean, look at these soaps. They are huge, but look how bright and vibrant and colorful that is as well. These are from her Naturals range, or her Naturals collection, and they are all plant-based colors and essential oils, and each and every one of the soaps that were in this box have their own very unique smells. And one of the very first things I actually noticed about her soaps, not only have they got beautiful designs on them as well, but she uses essential oils that a lot of other people actually don't use. Like, for example, this one I've got in my hand, A Walk in the Forest. We've got the sort of basics like bergamot, lavender, cedarwood, but she also has white pine and amber. Like amber is not a cheap essential oil to get in, but it really does change the scent. And then we've got this one here. We've got geranium, bergamot, lemon, cedarwood, and cardamom. Very few people, again, use cardamom. And there were some others. She's got jasmine absolute in this one. And jasmine is not a cheap oil. And I think that is what makes her soaps really stand out, that she uses these essential oils that not many people use because of the cost of them. And it really does bring it alive and give each of the soaps their own unique sort of smells. I'm just trying to find this one. There's lavender rain, so it's got lavender, orange patchouli, and oak moss. Now I've often looked at oak moss and just thought, oh, my wallet doesn't like that one, we'll just leave that one alone. But I think using these really unique, they're not unique essential oils because they are there, but they're essential oils that not many people can use because they are cost inhibitive. But she uses them and it just makes them smell amazing. I've been using some of these, are the sample pieces. They are huge sample pieces, and I've had a couple of these in the shower now, and they are beautiful soaps. They all smell nice. I only put one sample in my bathroom, and the bathroom smells amazing, and the rest of the soaps are sitting in my office, which smell great. And these soaps I'm actually going to cut in half so hubby and I can use them. I highly recommend going to check out Rachel at Muck Lover Soaps because they just smell so good, and each of them have their own unique smell. So thank you, Rachel, for sending them through. They are just absolutely beautiful. My husband did he's taken one of the citrus ones that you sent through. He absolutely loves that. I can't remember what it was because he has taken it, but he loves that one. And I had another one of the citrus ones, which is currently in my shower now. Just stunning. So thank you. Go and check out Rachel at Muck Lover Soaps. So I hope you have enjoyed coming along with me this week as I share what I got up to. I am really looking forward to next month. Now, a lot of the things that are going to be happening next month will happen before the vlog comes out, but I will share them through short videos and stuff like that. I have got a whole heap of new packaging coming. I have got some new shampoo and conditioner boxes on the way. I have taken that leap and I have now gone into doing the wholesale. I have my fair.com account all uploaded. I think I mentioned I was doing it in the last vlog, but it is now all up and live. So anyone who does have like their own little boutique gift shops that stock a variety of things, they can now actually stock a select range of my products. I also have things like my lip balms on there. So anyone who actually does want to stock my lip balm, even if you've got your own bath and body business and you don't want to make lip balms, you can now actually purchase the lip balms to sell as part of your business. And I'm also actually working on getting them up as a white label, so I'll make the lip balms and then just send them as an unlabeled tube, and then it would be up to the individual to put their own labels on. But it's a great way of getting it into your business, and then you can charge what you actually want because it's got your own labeling on it. So that's all there. If that's something that does interest you, only for Australians, I'm afraid. Even though I'm going through fair.com, I can still only sell within Australia. So if there are any Aussies out there who do want lip balm in their range but don't want to make it, keep an eye out on my Fair account. Use the link down below because it will give you all sorts of great advantages, like I think there's free shipping for a certain amount of orders, there's 60-day payment terms and all that sort of stuff when you go through Fair. Keep an eye out for it, and I will hopefully over the next week or so be uploading them as a white label. And when I get my shampoo and conditioner boxes in, I will also be adding them onto my Fair wholesale account as well. And you can always contact me directly as well for anyone who is interested in wholesale. So I've got all that coming. There's a few changes that are going on in our home life, which I will hopefully be able to share next month. It's actually my husband's news, so I'm letting him tell everyone that he needs to tell before I announce it to the world. So hopefully next month I can share that, because I'm really looking forward to these changes and I really want to support him in this as well. So I will reveal more of that next month. Anyway, as I said, I hope you have enjoyed coming along with me this week. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. And until the next video comes out, I hope you have a great one, and I will see you then. Bye.